Adversarial Forge Palm here. Thanks for tuning in. I've got a lot of students working under me right now um, that are focusing on the development of the totality of self, body, mind, and spirit. And the issue of physical development keeps coming up. Okay? Now, there's a major mistake most people make in regard to body, mind, and spirit. People tend to look at these things and compartmentalize them as if these practices must be separate. They're not really understanding that these things are mutually dependent and not mutually exclusive. They're not really understanding that you can make physical exercise have spiritual benefits. All it takes is a little bit of higher intellect and inspiration through the spirits themselves. Now, through my own work with Aishma, there were specific physical elements that I integrated into my spiritual practices. Physical exercise became another outlet to develop myself spiritually. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this video is discuss some of these things. I'm going to start with um, traditional weight training, whether we're talking about powerlifting, lifting to bring out details within the skeletal muscular system, um, looking to cut body fat. It really does not matter. A lot of people, when they're lifting weights, they're using a lot of momentum. Okay, so one of the first things that I recommend to students is to learn how to make the lightest weight heavy. I tell them to utilize soup cans and do as many different dumbbell exercises as they can find, whether it be lateral raises, front lateral raises, whether it be concentration curls, alternating dumbbell curls, whether it be dumbbell flies, um, dumbbell rowing. It doesn't matter. The whole goal with utilizing soup cans is to learn how to make this soup can heavy through mental focus and attention to your own body, developing this mind-muscle connection. Because we all know that where attention goes, energy flows. So if you can sit here and do a concentration curl with a can that weighs a few ounces and make it feel heavy, what you're actually doing is you're developing the mind-muscle connection. You are also learning to accumulate and generate physical or spiritual prana within a specific area in your body. You're learning to manipulate your own personal energy. And this is really at the heart of magic, guys. This is what magic is. Okay? So just through this practice alone, you can begin to learn how to harness your own personal energy. Now, one of the main focuses of my exercise program as of late is on isometrics. And the reason why is it's one of those concepts that work extremely fast. But most importantly, unlike traditional weight training exercises, it actually harnesses and accumulates chi and prana instead of expending it and using it. This benefit is so integral to your success as a sorcerer because, again, accumulating personal energy, chi, prana, kundalini, is of utmost importance because just by going to work every day, taking care of kids, cooking, we expend so much energy. So we can utilize isometrics to help generate and accumulate this energy. Isometrics are basically static contractions. Now, you're going to have to work each muscle in 3 different positions to be able to gain the best benefit. Contract at the beginning of the range of motion, contract at the middle, and at the end, just before the end. This is very important. Otherwise, you're only developing strength at one part of a specific range of motion. It's one of the cons to isometrics. But when integrated with traditional weight training, where you are actually utilizing the power of your mind to make the weight heavy, it's where you are controlling the weight instead of just trying to use momentum to throw it. This is a very powerful combination. Then we have flexibility. Flexibility is very important, not just so that you can move through a greater range of motion, but also because it keeps your kundalini, your prana, and your chi flowing freely. It helps to minimize energy blockages created through constant contraction and constant hard work. It loosens things up. It also aids in the recovery process. Isometrics, through storing chi and prana, will also aid in the recovery process in regard to heavy powerlifting or weight training. Now, cardiovascular exercise. We all know that this is important as well. Guys, cardiovascular exercise is a wonderful opportunity to meditate, because you can go for a 3-mile run. I did this with my dad yesterday, and we did nothing but focus on our breath. We did not focus on the fact that we were running. We just focused on our breath. And it was very easy for me to push myself and get into a trance state and not become affected by the physical effort. So, do you see how physical exercise can be integrated into our spiritual practice? We can most often kill 2 birds with 1 stone and maximize the investment of time that we put into these things. And that's really what I'm trying to get across through this video. I gave you a few different suggestions. None of this is set in stone, but it is something that I teach my students, and it is very useful. I've taught this way for years. You know, we all have to work 40 hours a week just to be able to make it. So it's very important that we can maximize our efforts and our time. So with that being said, I hope this video helps. I'm going to go ahead and probably do another couple videos in regard to the mind and spirit aspects. And what I'm going to try and do through this is show that these things are mutually dependent instead of mutually exclusive. I'm going to try to point out some of the ways that we can begin to break down the compartments between these 3 practices so that our life can become more magical and our magic and sorcery can be filled with more life through a healthy body and mind. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this before YouTube throws me off after the 5th time of making this video. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Banamaya Harman.